So for those of you who joined a little last minute, we are joined by the Finlocker team again. So they're going to be going through a presentation, and then there will also be a portion at the end where they're going to just do some open Q&A. So like I said, we've been getting a lot of questions still in the support inbox. So if you have those questions or you have any uncertainty around getting your clients enrolled in the platform, feel free to bring that up at the end and get those questions answered in real time. So I will go ahead and kick it over to you, Chris, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Oh, there we go. Let me do my video.
There we go.
All right. Now I'm going to ask you to let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep, you're good.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for the time. I wanted to go through a few things here. So this is our agenda. We're going to go through some stats. We really got going in July of this year, so not too long, but we have some pretty compelling stats, and we're going to go through some of the more recent product updates that were released in this last week and a half. We're going to go through a demo of the registration flow. As Val mentioned, we're getting some questions about some of the differences, like difference between a mobile code registration and the URL for the web. Ethan will walk you through both of those paths, and I'll just state right now that it's a choice. It's your choice, or you can give both choices to the consumer, but I know it can get confusing because it's dual path, but once you register, everything's kind of together. So we'll go through all of that in detail, and we'll have time for questions on that as well. And then we're going to go through the different views, because I think there were some other questions around the difference between the consumer portal and the admin portal, and what do you use for both of them? What are the credentials? And short answer is separate credentials for both, and they're separate portals, but they're both very relevant to the product. And we'll leave plenty of time for open Q&A. So jumping in, here's what we've done since June was really kind of internally getting started, but July is when we really started kicking off in August. So what you're seeing here on the screen is locker enrollments each and every month. So we expected a big spike in July and August because of all of the, the drip campaigns that the AOH team had done on your behalf to your database. And then September and October, kind of a steady state of 150-ish lockers a month. November is across all of our clients is a slow month, one because of the holiday week, and then it's also a shorter month in general. But I wanted to jump into this because what we're seeing here from the data is only about 40% of the group here is actually issuing lockers on any sort of regular basis. So you can see here, up here at the top of the screen, we're talking about the count here is how many different LOs our mortgage advisors are sending out. So we can see 20, 25, 10, 9, and it drops. But those ones that are doing it are getting some pretty good volume in terms of people registering. But down below, you can see we have a total of 129 total mortgage advisors that have enrolled at least one locker. So even if yourself, that would pull up. But when I go back and look even deeper in the stats, there's really between AOH and NEO, there's really only about 40-ish or so people that have any, in the teens of lockers. For those people though that are issuing those lockers, what we're seeing is active users. So you can see here, we expect everyone signing up in June, August, or June, July, August. So you're going to see the high numbers. But at a steady state, we're over 30%. For those people who are issuing lockers, 30% of their customers are coming back every single month and engaging within the app. That is in the tech world, that is a incredibly high number. If you look at Mint, like Mint is a budgeting app, which is a comparable app to ours. They posted they have about 12% monthly active users. So just really want to call this out. This is a very good number for those of you who are engaging. This is actually high for our client base. We're typically a lot higher than Mint anyway, but this is a very good number. So kudos to you that are really pushing this out and talking to your clients. If we look even further, this is a 30, 60, and 90-day return rate. So what this is saying is, let's just use August as an example. So in August, if someone enrolled their locker in August, 60 days from now, 40% are coming out. Within 60 days, 40% are coming back. And within 90 days, 44% are coming back. So we looked at that monthly active user last was about 30%, which is, that coming back each and every month. This is people who are still coming back, but it might take them long. They might not log in every month, but they're still checking it 60 and 90 days out. So almost half of the users are coming back within a fiscal quarter. Then I wanted to get into, this is, Ethan's going to go into more detail on this in a live product demo, but here are some snapshots. We just overhauled our web dashboard. So not the mobile app, but on the web. We overhauled the dashboard to make it more modern, a lot cleaner, a lot better categorized into the various sections. And then it also closely aligns with how mobile functions. So it's those people who, those consumers, your clients who are using mobile and web, they're going to get a more cohesive experience between the two. So I encourage all of you to go play around with that afterwards, if you already haven't, and then Ethan will go through that in detail here after we go through the registration demo. Some additional other looks at some of the tools. One of the big things is the contact card now, like it is on mobile. It's there, very prevalent on the dashboard in web. And then for mobile, this is a mobile look. This is a new readiness feature. So what we did with the readiness feature is we did a lot of consumer testing, and what we found is some people were hesitant to enroll their credit and enroll financial accounts without digging into the app a little bit further. And so what we want to do is give people a little bit lighter way to run readiness, so they can self-input data now. They don't have to have anything enrolled. They can run that right when they log in for the very first time and just input 5 different data fields. And then throughout the experience, just like I think we've shown in web before, we guide people along the way, both with education, and then have tools in here to reach out. So at the end of the readiness, you can contact your lender, contact that mortgage advisor directly in there, or bring them directly to that contact card where you can, there they can email you or schedule a meeting. And Ethan will go through that as well in the demo. And then just a reminder that we are continuing to build out more and more product notifications. So today, your consumers are getting, they're on credit journeys and account journeys and all that, but they're also getting notified when relevant things happen. So when their credit score updates, if they have credit inquiries, they get alerted. If they have a property and their property value updates, they're going to get there. And what you'll see over the course of the first half of next year is more and more of these come. Where we want to get to is even insights where we stuff back to you as a mortgage advisor that are relevant, both the consumer and you, so you can be notified when certain things happen. Like, let's just throw out an example. I'm not saying it's going to be it, but let's just say LTV went to a certain range or credit score went to a certain range. We could then notify you. That's not there clean, but this is what we've done in the last couple of months, getting these notifications out. And so with that, Ethan, I will hand this over to you.
Alrighty.
Do we have any questions on the first portion before Ethan gets started? If anyone wants to raise their hand or put it in the chat or Q&A.
While we're waiting for questions, what Ethan's going to go through is both the registrations, the mobile and the web, and I just want to reiterate that it's an either or. You don't have to give both codes out. If you go down, there's a mobile code, which is that 8-digit code you guys have. If you want someone to register directly through mobile, you give that out. If you want someone to register through web, you give the URL out. The advantage, there's advantages and disadvantages of both. The advantage of the web is it's a direct link to you, so they don't have to remember a code, they don't have to do anything. What they do, if they want to use mobile though afterwards, there is a download icon after they register that they'll have to click on or get the app after they register on web. If they're always using their phone and everything, then that's where the advantage of the mobile code comes in. They can just download the app and hit create account and use that code and be on their way. Let's see what.
Okay. Ethan, I will let you take it away.
Let's do it. All right. So first things first, here in the admin portal, which is this main screen on the left side, we're on the invites page, link invite. This is where all the codes and links exist if you need to look yours up. So you'll see there's a code and a link for each of these lines. So those are associated. That gets back to Chris's point. It's one or the other. We'll start on mobile. So this is a test link I set up earlier. Here's the URL if I want to register through web. And here's my invitation code for mobile. Let's blow this up a little bit. I'll open my AOH app for this one. And then, for when you're inviting a consumer, they won't already have the app. So first step they would do, they'd go to either the App Store or the Google Play Store, download the app, open it up, and then they're here. They're right where I am. They'll click register here. Let's begin. And then this is where they enter that 8-character code that is provided by you. So mine was Locker. And then they can begin to start the process. So first step is just setting up your credentials. So email will be the username they use to log in. Password will be the password. Oops. Contact information, we're just asking for first name, last name, mobile number, and zip code. And then as a reminder, these are some data points that you'll see on the invites page in the admin portal. I'll show you that again here in a second. Terms of service, so this, right now, you have to scroll to the bottom and then accept. We do have an update coming later this month where it's just going to be a simple checkbox and then you can accept and move forward. But for now, you do have to scroll to the bottom there. The next step is mobile number validation. So you're just going to get a 6 code texted to you to validate your identity. And then you're good. So this is another step that's going away later this month. It used to be you had to verify your email address before you could enter the application. Now you can enter the app before you verify your email, and you can verify the email at a later date. That is the web or the mobile registration. Let me kick it back here and I'll show you how it looks on web. And the web will look a little different if you've done it before. We actually just had a release last week to upgrade that web portal. So I'm just going to start from this link. Go full screen for you all. Sure, I've already got it opened. All right, so here's the new look for the landing page when someone goes through the URL invite. Instead of just being dropped on step 1 where they fill out their email and password, we're just giving them a little bit more information on what they're signing up for. So a few of the value props down here, and then they can enter into that registration process. So this is going to be the same steps. Set up your username, password. Fill out the contact info. And phone number. And then we just did that. And then here's how that terms of service will look in mobile once we have that next release. They don't have to scroll all the way through. They can simply just check the box and move along. So hopefully that'll remove a little bit more friction in that registration process. And then the mobile validation. And that'll be it. And then that drops them on their dashboard where we can do a quick demo of that new user experience. So when someone first signs up, we're just going to ask them a couple questions about their homeownership goals. So where do they stand on their journey? I'm ready to buy, maybe soon, not ready, but I want to learn, or I already own a home. What are their goals in here? So they want to improve credit, save for down payment, etc. And then last step, the data sharing consent. So this is where, assuming they accept, you would be able to see some additional data points on the user in the admin portal. So that would be their current credit score band, their previous credit score band, and their property value if they have those enrolled.
One thing to note on that, because I know question before, is as a consumer does not have to do this. They can decline it if they want, and they can always update it later to it. If they decline, you won't see the information that Ethan just said. You'd still see first name, last name, contact info, that kind of stuff. But they can always change it at any point in time. So if anyone's concerned about that, they can decline that to start and then change it later once they get more comfortable.
Good call out there. So I'll accept for this one. And then you can just get a quick glimpse at that new user experience. So it's really just prompting them to enroll accounts, enroll credit, power up their dashboard. And then that LO, meet your lender, is now in the web instance. So that's here on the dashboard along with the schedule your meeting button. And then if we go to a fully loaded locker, this is what that'll look like. So the top two widgets, those are forms of the readiness assessment. The one on the left's a little lighter version. The one on the right, we can dive into that in just a minute. Then the new dashboard's broken down into sections. So first section, or second section rather, is credit. So they can get just a glimpse of their credit score, jump into either of the interactive credit tools, or they can click view credit detail to just jump into that full credit widget where they can see the various factors that impact their credit reports, all of the trade lines that are reported there, and then they can still access those, the interactive credit tools as well. The next section is accounts. So once accounts are enrolled, you can get a quick preview of what the balances are on those accounts here at the top, a summary of what you're budgeting for, a summary of your spending. You can hover over these to see what the values are, and then your net worth. And then you can also dive in here to see the transactional data for each account you have enrolled. And then the last section is the property. So they're getting their value trend, meet your lender again, where they can schedule a meeting with you. And then they can click into here, see their estimated home value, estimated equity, details of their mortgage if they have that linked, the recently sold properties in the area. They could get to property search, and then the home binder, and then the updater and revive tools as well. And then you'll notice there's no more navigation menu. So if there's any pages that you don't see on the dashboard, you can scroll to the bottom, and there's just quick links out to each page in here. So calculators, for example, you can click that and it'll take you to the 4 different calculators that you're able to use in the experience. That's a quick glimpse. Any questions here before I jump back to the admin portal real quick, just to show you all the differences between those experiences?
One thing I just want to clarify, as Ethan was walking through the 2 different ways to get your clients enrolled, I think there was some confusion around. So when you're using that link to get a consumer signed up for the platform, that link is tied to your specific account. So that's going to be all branded to you. So they don't need that code to register for the app when you're sending them directly to the link. And then the benefit of using the link as well is that's going to put them into your CRM. So if you're using Daily AI with Art of Homeownership or Neo Experience, that's going to put them into Daily AI and into the drip campaigns. Whereas if you're using the code only, that's going to get them in your Finlocker admin portal, but they won't be in your CRM. So if you want to keep it consistent and make sure that you're tracking them all just in a uniform way, you might want to just use that link. And then when they go on mobile, then they're just going to use the credentials that they created through that link. They still won't need the code. They'll already have created their account. They're just going to do it using the link rather than the registration code.
Good call out there, Val. Yeah, so you'll see here for Alan, he's got a code right here. That's the code he would hand out to his consumers, but this link, that'll do the same exact thing. A consumer that signs up with this link will see Alan as the meet your lender, just as they would if they signed up with that 8-character code. All right. So quick rundown of consumer versus admin experience. So consumer, this is where you get, all the bells and whistles, the credit score, account enrollment, budgets and goals, readiness. Here on the admin portal is where you'll see who is registered in that consumer environment. So on the dashboard, you'll just get some aggregate information. So a breakdown of your users by their credit score range, just a quick summary of user activity. They've logged back in the last week versus month versus 90 days. And then if any of your consumers have shared data and documents with you, it would show up here on the right-hand side where you could click into it. You could get a quick summary of what was shared over to you. And then there will be a button that you can download it into a zip file. So you would get an asset report for any asset accounts that were shared, PDFs for any documents, and then you'll get a Fannie and a Mismo data set that you can import to your 1003. Back to here, so lockers page. This is where if the user accepted that additional data sharing consent, that pop up right after I registered, this is where their email address would populate. So that indicates they accepted the additional data sharing. And then you would be able to click into a user. This one's my test account, so I'll click into that. And then you'll know some milestone level data. So Terry James has 7 financial accounts enrolled, credit, profile, property, 1 goal established, and they've run readiness. And then you can also see that their current credit is in the 740 to 749 range. Previous is the same, and then their property value, since Terry has that enrolled. And then there's some other filtering you can do on this as well. So you can filter by a user that has financial institutions enrolled, someone that has credit enrolled, a property. You can really play around with this and filter how you'd like. But one thing I will note, you will not see any data on this page unless you have at least 5 consumers enrolled. They don't all need to accept the data sharing. Once you hit 5, then the data will populate on this page. And we do that because it's more for the consumer security. Just, if there's 1 or 2 people signed up, it's pretty easy to identify which data belongs to which user. And then invites page. So this is the last page you'll have access to. This is just where you'll see a list of who's signed up, who's registered. So you'll get their email, first name, last name, mobile number. Status date is the date they registered. And then last active date is the last time they logged in. For each of you, you'll only see consumers that are tied to you. So you won't have to worry about filtering by loan officer. And then you'll get that zip code as well. And then this list is something that you can export to a CSV if you wanted to do anything with those contacts. And then a newer feature that we haven't touched on with this group, we did make an enhancement here. Oh, hit the log out button. There's a new feature where you can update your own profile information. I will say right now, there's not the ability to upload a headshot. But if you, we do have a feature coming, I believe it's next week or the following, where you'll be able to upload your own headshot in there, crop it and preview it. So looking forward to that. But for now, you can go in and edit your profile, edit any of your contact information, except for email address. So email address is locked down. If you do need an update there, you'll have to send an email. I think support@artofhomeownership.com would be the best place to go with that. But you can update your custom URL, which is your home buyer link if any changes happen there. Your meeting link if you needed to update that, or if you wanted to update your meeting link description. And that is admin. Chris, any other areas I missed? Anything we want to jump into a little further?
I think you covered it great. Open it up for questions and we can dive into each section. There's some questions too.
Yeah, if there's anything that you guys have questions around, obviously just general questions, but if there's anything that you'd like Ethan to dive into a little further, feel free to put it in the chat or raise your hand. And we'll just take, do you guys want to take just general questions about enrolling clients and the app now too?
Yeah.
Okay. And if there's nothing, then we can end a few minutes early. I don't see, oh, here's Q&A. Within the app, how can a homeowner add in the connection to the My Property so that equity is updated?
Good question. Ethan can show that here.
Yeah, let me get that.
Well, he's pulling it up. So what will happen is if they don't have a property enrolled, they'll have installed the My Property section. And when they dive into that, there'll be an enroll feature.
Yes, this is what it looks like when someone's not enrolled. It'll just have My Property as its own widget, track your home value and market trends. And then it'll take them to that enrollment page. So really just putting in the street address, zip code, city, state. It'll ask you to verify the address. It'll give you a preview of what they're thinking the address is. You confirm it, and then it'll pull in that value. And then there's a button once you're in that enrolled property that says link mortgage. That's how you would link the mortgage to get your estimated equity.
Cool. Okay, I don't see any more questions. As always, we do have on a weekly basis, we have the open office hours with our Art of Homeownership team. So that's going to be every Tuesday. It's on the calendar within, if you go into the partner portal, you can see all of the scheduled sessions that we have. So if you ever just have a general question about the daily AI side of things or how to enroll clients in the Finlocker app, you can feel free to jump into those office hours at any time. And Laura's great. She'll help you handle really anything that you need. And then otherwise, we always have the support at artofhomeownership.com. If you have general questions, we can help you get those answered. So Chris and Ethan, we appreciate you guys jumping on today. And if you have questions that were unanswered, like I said, support or the office hours are a great resource to leverage. All right. Anything else from you guys? Any parting words?
Just thank you for the time. Appreciate it. And I would just welcome, as you're engaging with your clients and you see opportunities for improvement, we're all ears for that.
Love it. All right. Thanks, guys. We will see you in 2 weeks and have a great rest of your week.